The Weekly, hosted by the editors of Pro Builder and Pro Remodeler, starts now.
I'm really happy to bring you this segment this week because for the last year or so, Pro Builder has been working with Thrive Home Builders in Denver and the Energy and Environmental Building Alliance, or EVA, on the ultimate Zero Energy Now, or Zen Home. Despite all that happened this year, Thrive kept the project on track and delivered a beautiful, healthy, comfortable home for us to feature in our September-October issue, and also for EVA to feature at its summit, which is going on now through October 9th. In fact, the Ultimate Zen Home is the model for Thrive's latest and last collection of homes at Central Park, a 20-year master plan on the site of Denver's old airport. But it's also a model for the housing industry, a net zero production home designed and built to appeal to a second move-up buyer in a highly competitive market. In fact, before Thrive even opened sales officially, it had 5 sales in the books, and has since sold out of phase 1 of its Vitality series, a total of 13 lots, with the remaining 26 yet to be released. I sat down with key members of the Thrive team and Seth Hart from DTJ in Boulder to discuss their goals for the project and also key takeaways for other builders.
There were 3 things that we tried to do with this new series of homes. And the first was to address some competitive aspects of the home that we felt we needed to do a better job of in the marketplace. And a good example of that is many of the homes that we were competing against at that similar price point or square footage in Stapleton had ensuite bathrooms for all the secondary bedrooms. We currently weren't delivering that. And so we did an in-depth market analysis of our competition, what they were offering, where their price points were, and really look back and look at our plan, our floor plans to make sure that we were competitive in the attributes of the home that we were delivering. And so we found a few areas we wanted to address. And going into new filing, it gave us the opportunity to create a new plan to go address those and feel like we were delivering a more competitive floor plan to the marketplace. In addition to that, we wanted to step back to our traditional roots. We've been building in Stapleton for about 20 years, and we've been more of a traditional architectural style is what we've brought to market. Our previous Zen is a little more modern. And so we wanted to step back, and that's why you'll see the Ultimate Zen Home as a farmhouse architecture style. And the third component of that was to really reduce our costs. Even in this time of the COVID pandemic, prices are increasing. A lot of cost pressure, both from fees municipalities as well as products. I think we're expecting a pretty big lumber hike here in the third quarter. And so we wanted to make sure if we were taking the time to design a new product, that we were really focused on designing it in a way that reduced our costs as best we could.
We really wanted to focus in on that maturing family with older kids and really trying to design the product for them. So item 1 was the ensuite bath for secondary bedrooms. Get the kids out of sharing a bathroom. That's kind of huge. I fight that battle every night with my kids. We can't possibly get through getting ready for bed without some sort of excitement, usually. So that's kind of a simple but big thing. We really tried to boost the grandeur of the master suite, trying to add some drama, for lack of a better term, to the master bedroom. So we added some volume in there, which I think has really come across well. I think it shows really nicely. Trying to get, likewise doing the same thing for the master bathroom. There's also a vaulted ceiling in there that I think it's not huge, but it's enough to make a visual impact, boosting the size of the master closet, and really just trying to get those things that people are probably the things that are on their wish list when they're ready to move up from their first home that they bought here.
I asked Thrive's chief designer, Eric Sung, about the product development process for the new series. Did you have these plans kind of in place and ready to go, and it was a matter of refinement, or did you have to come up with a craftsman and a farmhouse and a colonial to kind of get where you wanted to go in that balance, in achieving that balance?
The process started with us internally trying to see if we can obviously take an existing plan and tweak it to make it work. But then we also feel like we needed an outside voice in here because we want to make sure that this is the best that we can put out there. So I reached out to Seth, and DT was very, very gracious in and coming alongside with us and being able to provide us the design. And after that, it was just Seth doing his magic and getting his all foresight. He had a vision, which we had kind of chatted with them briefly about what we were looking for. And then at that point, it's really just tweaking it slightly on our end.
They definitely had some features that they really wanted to focus on. They wanted that big wow factor when you come in the front door with some volume stairs wrapping up to the second floor. So that was kind of a focal point, and then really being able to go in and make sure that the kitchen, living, dining just felt expansive and big and open. And, programmatically, we got all the elements in there. They wanted, the ground floor office and things like that. But it was really it was kind of that heart of the home from the coming in, the entrance experience and the livability of that ground floor, and, still being able to have the loft upstairs that kind of looks down over that entry.
So what drove the decision to go with a more traditional farmhouse style for the ultimate Zen home?
Just from what we have seen around town, we still tend to believe that traditional architecture elevation is probably what people are more comfortable with. I mean, a lot of the contemporary stuff we've seen now, I feel like it's like a fad that it will come and go, but lasting architecture will always stay. So we kind of want to pull back a little more and get back into the simpler form, but make it proportionate, make it look good, do all the little things that we can to make it look good.
We knew from the beginning that they wanted to do this farmhouse style as well. And, really when we know what we're trying to achieve from the floor plan stages, I think when you can really start getting your best elevation work done, because for me, I had that vision of what I wanted the house to look like as I started the plan. So every decision I was making working on the floor plan was with the elevation in mind, which is, how that elevation kind of came together and the wrap porch, and knowing that was a fundamental element that we really wanted, that kind of classic farmhouse wrap front porch. And so, rather than just taking a floor plan that worked and then trying to shoehorn it into a different elevation, which, can be done effectively still, I think this one really benefited from knowing what it wanted to be at the beginning and letting the floor plan kind of react to that a little bit as well.
With this project, how did you continue to wring out costs, especially when you're offering some design enhancements for this market to be competitive?
Right, so there are a couple ways in which we focused on that for this particular product line. And one is to continue the methodology in which we've always used to control our costs, which is to make sure we're using products, materials, and techniques that our vendors and partners are familiar with. And just making the right choices for those products and installing them to the quality standards that allow us to have the performance out of the home that we need without having to go to exotic products or exotic installation strategies. And that helps us keep our labor costs down and our material costs down and more competitive in the marketplace. The second is to adjust our architecture to this more traditional style, this farmhouse style, allowed us to stack the house better and create an open floor plan while minimizing cantilevers and jogs and corners, add cost to the home.
You could just see it, you can spot it with your eyes. You could see, okay, well, here's, masonry that isn't necessarily making an impact. Here's a roof line that's probably way more complex than it needs to be. Here's a bunch of corners and jogs that aren't necessarily adding anything, and other than cost. And really just trying to spot a much more simplified building. And we picked the architecture that we thought would best complement a simplified building.
As we advance our energy efficiency, learn more about how to do it well, are the ways in which we can not spend as much maybe as we used to. And so substituting products as new products or new techniques that we're willing to try become available.
We were really trying to do an awful lot of things at once. And it was it's a bit of a tricky exercise to try to pull cost and complexity out of the home while boosting appeal. And I think we've actually done that with this particular series. That doesn't always work every time the way you'd like it to, but that was very much the goal, was trying to increase the appeal while reducing a lot of the cost in there that wasn't necessarily driving value to the customer.
Is there something else or anything else that you hope from this particular project, this collaboration with EVA and ProBuilder, and the work that you've done to deliver this house, that builders can and should walk away with?
And one of it is simply the education of how to build energy efficient and healthy homes. Thrive has built a brand around this, and obviously it's a competitive advantage for us in the marketplace. But it's also our belief that homes really need to be built like this, and this is the future of housing. So if builders can read the articles, can visit the home, can participate in the sessions at the summit around it and learn something that they can take back to their business to improve the product that they build and the performance levels of the homes that they build. That would be a big success for me, and what I would like people to get out of this home. It's just to learn something new to better the homes that they're delivering to their consumer.
This is a series of homes that we're building. This is not a one-off where we got to try all the cool stuff and then go back to doing things the way we usually do them. This is a product line moving forward. We've got a bunch of them ahead of us to go and build.
And so it's not only a showpiece of the home and how to do it, but it's a showpiece that it works and that you can deliver this in mass in a competitive environment and be successful. And so not only learning some science, but learning that this is an achievable business strategy, and that energy efficiency and healthy homes are able to be built and be competitive in the marketplace. And this is an example of that through these 39 homes as well as the demonstration home.